maybe I'm just old, but it seems to me Netflix is great for so many things, but it seems to me the best way to watch a show is through television, to let it kind of roll out there week to week to week, to let people talk about it, to let it resonate with people. Do you see that as well?
That is an amazing line of the divide right there, what you just said. You speak as Norman Lear. Norman Lear said,
Wait,
I wrote my
can I get that on a pillow? That might be the nicest thing anybody's ever said to me in my entire life. And I am going to pillow, headstone, it's going somewhere.
It's like we were shooting the final show of season 2 of One Day at a Time. It's when Rita is in a coma and we're all at the hospital. It's an amazing writing display. It's an amazing show, the last episode of season 2. And we had to rehearse on Yom Kippur, right? And if there are any Jews in Maine, for those who are not
and there
Jewish,
are.
yeah, that it is the highest of high holy days, and you're not supposed to do anything on Yom Kippur, or your name doesn't go into the book of life. It's a very serious thing, but it was an enormously difficult show, and it required. And so Norman and the executives asked if I would work on Yom Kippur, and I said yes, I will, because there's a line in the Jewish Talmud which says you have to learn to pray on the road. And if you're an actor, you got to learn to pray on the road. So I'm sitting on stage with Norman Lear, and Norman came down and patted me on the leg. He's Jewish too, and he says, thank you for doing this. I understand what this means to you. And he started talking to me about his boyhood and writing and doing shows, and he brought up your subject. He says, I don't agree with the Netflix idea of streaming. He says, when I did One Day at a Time, when I did All in the Family, we thought of everything as a weekly show. That's what television was back then, but it became an event. He says, television has to be elevated by becoming an event, by being something you wait for. NBC had Big Time Thursday night with Seinfeld and ER, and suddenly Susan, they had all their big shows on Thursday night. It was an event. You stayed home for it. The writing becomes different when you stream. When you stream, you are aware that people are probably going to be watching 2, 3, 4 episodes of something at a time, and you tend to interconnect storylines in a different sort of way. When you are presenting your show week after week after week, you're dealing with individual one-act plays, and there is a more potent, I think, sort of structural element that the show has. So I find that is an advantage of releasing a show once a week has over the streaming idea.